Uh, Hello, sir.
Yep.
Sir, we are ready to go. All the students are assembled in the class and we have displayed the screen.
Sure.
Through that, they can able to hear you, sir.
Sure.
Sir,
So,
we are ready to go. We'll start now, sir. Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Over to you.
Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Prathish Kumar UK. He is a business excellence leader at Hitachi Digital Services with nearly 18 years of experience in driving business excellence across global organizations. Mr. Pritesh has extensive expertise in AI-based digitization, business excellence practices, and program quality management. He has led high-performing teams in top consulting firms like Deloitte and PwC and has also founded and funded multiple startups in hyper-local services and the gaming industry. Academically, he holds an MBA in Information Systems from Manipal, has completed leadership with AI at ISB Hyderabad, and studied metrics in project management at IISc Bangalore. We are excited to have him with us today to share his insights on effective sales and marketing strategies. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Prathish Kumar UK. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. May I know your name?
I am Mrs. Daya Naik.
Hi, ma'am. Hi. Thank you for the introduction. So kind of you. So if you're fine, we can get started. So I just wanted to understand the composition of the audience today, the students who are there. What's the composition? It's the first year, second year, final year students who are uh, who are who are in the hall or the classroom.
Sir, the students are from second year and third year.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I think we can get started. I think thanks for this opportunity. I'm excited and privileged, but not able to see you. I think that's probably the technical challenges and showcasing. So it would have been good if we could have had a face-to-face interaction. But however, I'll try to take up or give you a brief on the topic and my expertise in this area. Right. So I would like to keep this, since it's a workshop, and since we are doing kind of in a virtual mode, it is challenging to make it like a workshop. But however, let's keep it interactive. Right. So I'll appreciate if if you can ask any questions that are there. You can stop me at any point of time and ask any questions. I'll really appreciate that. Right. So I'm looking this as an opportunity to learn from all of you. Right. And also give back something what I've learned and experienced over my 18 plus years of experience in the industry. Right. So with that, thanks for this opportunity. I think thanks for the principal, Srinivas Maya, ma'am, Danak, who's the the HOD, and Nitya, Professor Nitya, for giving this opportunity to talk to all of you. So we can get started. So I would like to know, what's I think you're primarily technology students, who are doing your studies in AI ML space, if I'm not wrong. So, um, you know, uh, what is your understanding of sales and marketing currently? If one of you could answer me that, right? What's your understanding currently? What is marketing and what is sale? Anybody from the group, if you could. No, I mean, no answer is wrong. So you can come up and tell what do you feel, right? So there's always somebody trying to market or sell, right? And I know we are kind of glued to so much of social media, so and sale and marketing is always happening, right? So what is your take, or what's your understanding of sale or marketing? I think heavy lunch, Friday afternoon. I can't hear you. Nobody knows what is sale or marketing. At least, I mean, some insights. So at least I can know that people are listening to me, and then I can go ahead. No, shall I go ahead?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can proceed because students have not joined through the link. They are just receivers. They are at the receivers end.
Okay, are they able to hear me then?
Yes, yes. They can able to hear you, sir. They are listening.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is a brief on the sales and marketing strategy. So I would like to Mano, just give you a high level overview of what are the modern day sales and marketing strategies, and also would like to give some examples that would help you to understand these concepts better. Uh, I think I don't know whether this topics are part of your curriculum, but what I've tried to do is I've tried to touch upon few of the topics which I feel would be relevant. And since you've been, primarily in the technology area, I've tried to give you a case study, related to this, and also technology, so that you will be able to correlate and relate to, right? So, moving on, just a quick introduction about me. I think they've already given the brief. So I've been in this industry for past 18 years, and I've worked with multiple organization, and also I had a kind of a startup stint, in a hyperlocal services space, and I've kind of seed funded few of the businesses in this startup space. So I currently live in Bangalore with my wife, Manya, daughter Myra, and parents, Prasanna and Achyuta. So I'm basically from Bangalore. I did most of my schooling, I mean entire schooling in St. Aloysius, Bangalore. And post that I went on to Manipal to do my MBA. Right. So post that I've been, I've started working, and I've been in industry, and my different startup initiative. I mean, from my hobbies, I'm a avid traveler, so I love traveling. So I was into consulting space with Deloitte and PwC, which actually took me to different places I like to explore. And I'm very passionate about sports because I've actually represented state in cricket, so I've very passionate about any sport. I'm a fitness enthusiast as well, so and a foodie. So I think a foodie makes me it ensures that I'm also doing enough workouts so that I can maintain myself at this age, right? So yeah, so that's a brief about myself. So I'll just move on. So some of the things which I want to talk is on what is marketing strategy, right? So and there's something called as a marketing funnel, right? I mean, it goes through a particular life cycle. It's not that you randomly market something that is there. I mean, there is a different life cycle for that, and how you look at each of these phases and then identify whom you should be targeting, who is your target audience, etc. Then there are types of marketing. Then I'll touch upon few of the sales strategies, and then a little deep dive and trying to understand how the sale happens, right? And then we will do a brief case study, as I told you, which will give you a insight into technology as well as sales and marketing. So how these things go hand in hand, and how important technology is with respect to the any marketing or sales strategy in the current in the current era, right? So these are a few of the things. So um, so one aspect which I want to know is, I mean, is there anything else that you want to understand, cover as part of this this session? Right, I mean anybody in can just, I mean, not the students, even the professor, whoever is around, can let me know if there's any other expectations from this session, which I can take up and cover. Okay, I'll consider that. There's nothing else that's required, right? So uh, so what is a marketing strategy, right? So what is marketing first? I mean, I would like to touch upon that. So marketing is primarily trying to sell a product or a service, right? So when I say trying to sell, means how do you know, how do you sell a product or a service? So you think you have a product or a service which you feel is a need for the customer, right? So what they would do, right? So they would come and buy it. So that's your expectation when you develop something or develop a service or develop a product. You are expecting them to come and sell, but how would they know that there is a product or a service that is available, right? So it is necessary to give that information or create that awareness that there is a product or a service that is available, which is need, right? So you build something thinking that there's a need for it, and then you try to sell it, right? So how do you build that awareness, right? And ensure that an individual or a person who is your prospective client um, you know um, is aware that there's a product, and then comes and then tries to actually buy it, right? For example, now you would see on your Insta or on Facebook. I mean, now I think people have moved to Insta, and I think there are multiple other things, other platforms that are coming up. So I'll take an example of Insta, right? So based on the the content that you watch regularly on Instagram, or the kind of people that you follow, right? The information that get pushed to you, right, is what no, you would be viewing, right? So that is different companies trying to create awareness about the product or a service that is available with them, and trying to see whether you are interested to buy that, right? So uh, the creating awareness, so there is a lot of aspects related to creating the awareness. So that is primarily what a marketing strategy should be, right? So why you need this is so you as an organization, right? I mean, this is also how do we drive this for a startup, or if you're an entrepreneur, how do you take up a marketing strategy, right? So for example, I'm an entrepreneur and I have built a product which I feel is a need in the market, right? So I'll give an example of myself, right? So I had a startup stint, and we actually created a hyperlocal service platform where anybody would come and they could you know avail for a service that is required. For example, in a city like Mangalore, right? So if your pipe breaks, or there is an issue with your electrical appliances, right? So unless you know someone, it is not easy for you to um, you know um, uh, avail that service, right? So you know someone, or your neighbor knows someone, your friend knows someone, and then you have that connection, they come and then they try to fix it. But if you don't have connection, or you don't know people, I mean, you don't know them, it becomes very difficult to find somebody who can do that service. Right. So our platform was primarily helping people to easily identify individuals who would provide these kind of very basic services, right? So in place like Bangalore, where there are a lot of people coming from different cities, right? So they would need in basic help, like cooking, cleaning, right? So, and your support to any appliances, services, etc. Right. So it is always difficult to find such services. So we build a platform where people could go and avail such services, right? So I built that platform. So what is my objective? My objective is to ensure that there are maximum people on this platform and I make money out of it, right? So end of the day, people build any product or services, right? Primarily end of the day is that they need to make profit, they need to take money out of it, right? So I mean, that's a whole objective for anybody who is starting a business, right? So your objective is to ensure that you maximize your profit. So your marketing strategy should be to ensure that how do I maximize my business objective, which is making profit, right? So that I can run the business and provide more service or better service to the individual who are looking for this. So it's very important that I create that awareness to everybody. So if I'm putting the service in Mangalore right now, I need to create awareness. Otherwise, you will not know that Pratish's this company exists, and this company provides this XYZ services, right? So we will not be aware of that. So how do I create that awareness? So I use multiple different platforms. So I ensure that I meet the target audience. So another aspect is on to identify who are my target audience, right? It could be any household people, any people who are bachelors who need these kind of services, right? So I need to identify that target audience, right, and then reach out to them more effectively, right, telling that, no, I'm going to solve this problem for you, right, and why don't you take my service, right? So it is very important that I build something which is very effective, and people get attracted to it, and then people, whoever is having this need, comes and avails that service, right? So that is my key objective. They come and avail the service, and I make money at the end of the day. So I need to build my strategy around that, right? So as a startup, right, I might not have money, right? I mean, I could be a funded company based on my idea. If there is a seed funding firm or a venture capitalist who will come and invest money on it, then no, I'll have some fund to actually drive this marketing campaigns. But especially with startups, the amount that you will have to build awareness about your product or service is very limited. So it is very important that you build something which is very what do you call cost effective. it doesn't burn your pockets because you don't have enough money. You're just a startup who have recently started up with the very limited resources. So it is very important that I build something more effective, right? So I don't know whether the audio will be whether you will be able to hear the audio, but I have a short video which is which became very famous in US. It's called as a Dollar Shave Club, right? And they created a very basic ad which was very impactful, right? So very impactful because of the marketing strategy that they used. So this strategy of marketing is called as guerrilla marketing, right? So it is trying to do something different which catches the attention of the people, right? And they did it at a very less cost, and it is one of the case studies in a startup environment on how they drove their marketing campaign more effectively. So I'll just play this. Let me know whether you guys are able to hear the audio, right? So just a minute and a half. um,
Hi, I'm Mike,
are you able
founder
to
of Dollar
hear?
Shave.
Are you able to hear the audio?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yes, sir. We
Sure.
can hear.
Club.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. Do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up. Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
Okay. So see, this is one of the strategy where you're trying to attract the client, right? Or building an awareness in a very different way. It catches your attention immediately, and then you would start to actually look at the particular product if you are interested, right? So but it ensures that it leaves a mark on you, right? And then you are able to, or you're driven to see what exactly or what product it is, right? So this is kind of a marketing strategy that they use, and this video was very kind of a cost effective. It is, we don't have any celebrities, we have the founder himself talking about the product and what the product is about. So simple, easy, and in terms of the cost, it is much lower, right? So this is why you need different approach or strategy to ensure that your marketing campaigns are more effective, right? So I'll touch upon the marketing funnel, right, which I was talking you about, right? So the video what you saw right now is primarily kind of creating an awareness. So there is a product called as dollar blades, right? So dollar shaving blades. So till now, I think most of, I mean, that's a US based company. So anyway, most of us wouldn't have known, but people will be aware when you build such campaigns, right? There could be similar kind of campaigns which you would have been seeing in different social media platforms, right? YouTube, Insta, Facebook, or any other platforms, right? So the first part of the marketing funnel, that is, you create awareness, right? So like I'm trying to reach out to 100 people, right? So it is very important to identify your target target customer, right? So um, I cannot sell blade to a kid, right, or an youngster, unless he grows. Like if he's a man, when he grows up, he gets a facial hair, then he starts using the blade. So I need to identify who are my target audience, and then ensure that I target those specific audience, right? Uh, so you target, like, for example, my target audience is 100, right? So I'll take an example of 100. I'm pushing this to 100 people, right? So there is a separate way in which you identify who are your target audience. There are different methods that are there, right? But I mean, this is a very vast topic, so I'll touch upon few areas. So you think I have identified the 100 set of people, right? So I know youngsters, who are at the age of who would be using the blades, are around 100 people. So based on the research that I've done, right? So that's the awareness that I've created. Then based on you know the interest, right? For example, the ads are pushed to those 100 people. Those 100 out of 100 people look into the ad, and some of them feel, yeah, I'm interested in this, right? So probably he watches that video, which means that you have the information from your social media platform that yes, out of 100, 80 people have actually shown interest, right? So they've actually watched the entire video. So that information is available. So now out of that 80 people, right? So how many people are um, uh, how do you drive that people to move to the next stage where they will probably consider buying it, right? So they the next stage is called consideration, where they will think that, okay, currently I'm using Gillette, right, as a razor. Now should I try this out, right? So you nurture the lead. So you've got that lead. 80 people are the lead. So out of the 100, 80 people you have shortlisted who are interested in this. Now I have to nurture them. So push this content regularly. So you would see in your Instagram feeds that if you watch something or you click on something, then um, associated with that particular area, you would start getting multiple what do you call, advertisement pushed into your Instagram account, right? So if I'm trying to book a ticket to a different location, I try it. Then your mobile sends the information to the social media platform saying that this guy is trying to book a ticket. Then on your Instagram feeds you will see different website trying to push their advertisement. So they're nurturing that initial lead, right? So that is consideration. So once you nurture that initial lead, then you have to see whether there's an actual intent to buy. That is, okay, you go click on to that ad, then you move to the next step where they would say that buy, shop. You would see those icons, so you click on that, then you start you know looking into different types of blades that are available for sale, which means there's an intent to buy, and you are also evaluating which one to buy, right? So that's the next stage, right? This is a stage where you need to push the sale, right? You need to identify, yes, this guy is interested, he is trying to evaluate, right? And that's a stage where you will see it would give you a comparison. It would show that why your blade is better than others from different parameters, right? It would be cost and what are the features that are available, etc., right? So from 80, the number of people would keep reducing, right? So people who are really interested, who would consider, the people who are really has an intent to buy, people who are evaluating multiple options, right? And then when the actual sale happens, you need to ensure that the sale happens from the lead nurturing. When they start evaluating, it is necessary for you to push that sale. Right, it could be giving him a discount, giving him a multiple, giving him a different comparison, etc. You could actually push a sale, right? So when that person actually goes and pays that money, right, and the money gets into your account, right, the sale is made. So that's when it's very important for you to understand that unless person goes and puts the money, right, the entire exercise what you've done, right, it might not yield you the benefit, right? For example, because I pushed it to 100 people, there's a cost involved, right? Right, so for example, I spend 100 rupees, but the sale might happen to only 5%, right? So out of 100, only 5 people might purchase. It could be, it's between 3 to 5% is the sale that will happen for the 100 people that you would have pushed a lead generation or an awareness campaign, right? So that's also on a higher side. 3 to 5% is on a higher side, but usually it hovers around 2 to 3%, right? So what money, end of the 100 days, 100 rupee or $100 spend, you would make just $1 or $2, right? So there's an cost involved. So it is very important that how you drive this in a different forums, right? Right, how do you drive it which is more cost effective, right? With the offline marketing and the advent of internet, now it is easier to create awareness to the larger section of the society, right? In olden days, it was either through ads which used to come on the television, or it used to be the hoardings or other ways of marketing, right? The outdoor marketing that happens. So that was the only way in which people knew about or created awareness. But now there are multiple ways, right? So I'll not get into the details, right? There are multiple marketing platforms that are available, right? So you get emails, things are pushed on your social media platform, right? There's so many things happening, right? So there are different platforms to drive this, right? So, and another important thing is what you need to be aware is, as a if I'm a startup or a entrepreneur who has identified a need, and identified that there's a specific requirement, right? um, you know then yeah, it, that people have this requirement, that's why I'm selling it, right? So I've created this blade, right? Example of that $1 million blade which we're just looking at, right? So there he knew his target audience and there is a need for it, right? But I'll give an example. I think two examples which I would like to bring in here is the Ford Motor Company, right? So they were one of the first company which um, started manufacturing um, um, a combustion engine, right? So and they were the people who were initial movers in terms of identifying engines for your cars, or they developed those initial cars, and then they were trying to sell it to people, and they came up with the cars because they didn't know there's a need for the car, right? So it is, people were using bullock carts, right? Those days, or people were using horses, right? Carts, right? Horse-drawn carts, etc., for their transport. So they were the initial guys. This was set up, I think, probably in 1900. I think 1904, if I'm not wrong. Ford Motor Company came in, right? For example, the salesman then, right? If he had to sell, his engine to or his vehicle to anybody, right? So whom would he identify as a market, right? So for him, because it's a new product, right? And they have not heard it to the, I mean, they've not gone to the client, or understood what is the need from the client, right? So um, probably they would have thought then that, okay, there is a cart. So initially they were cows or bullocks which were used for driving the carts, right? And then at later point of time they knew that if they use horses, the transport could be faster, right? So they evolved over a period of time. So probably they would have thought that they will have a better tires which will ensure it rolls faster and reaches your destination much faster. People wouldn't have imagined of a combustion engine which will actually drive, and you will have a place to sit, and a vehicle could easily drive you to a different location which would be faster, right, and more refined way of transport. People wouldn't have imagined about that, right? But when they came up with that, that is innovation, right? So how do you sell an innovation to a or market? I mean, sale is far away, but how do you market something this, okay, and push the need, right? In this scenario, there is a need, but in this case, right, when there's an innovation, you don't know where people actually want. So only visionaries, right, who innovate would think that, oh yeah, I mean, going forward, the things would evolve, and this would be the next thing that happened, right? All you guys are learning about AI/ML now, which I've picked up probably in last couple of years, and since open AI came up, with that generative AI model, right? So um, till then, no, people were not aware of this. Now they've disrupted the approach of how people do things. So similarly, it was with the combustion engine, right, and the vehicle that the initial vehicle which the Ford Motor Company created around in 1900s, right? So if a person goes and tries to market the product, okay, who are the people who were owning? They were farm owners, right? They were a richer lot who used to own the farm, right? And they used to have different carts that used to drive them to different location, right? So if you go and tell them about the combustion engine, right, and what combustion engine does and what innovation have they done, right? I mean, you would just lose the sale right away, right? So people wouldn't be interested to sell it. So it is important to pitch. One is identify, okay, these are the probable people who will buy it, and then trying to pitch right to them, right? If you need to pitch right to them, you will have to tell him that it is similar to the cart, which no, similar to the cart, but you need not take care of feed the cows or horses that is driving it, right? So it is as simple. You just crank the engine on, and then no, it will take you drive, and it goes to the respective destination, right? And you need not worry about the animals that is involved in transporting. So that might interest him. So it is very important that you pitch it in a right way. And as a startup, it is very important because many startups are innovating. They're coming up with the new ideas. So one is identify that specific audience who would need that, who has that need, and trying to pitch right to them is very important. So another example which I want to bring in here is the smartphones that you're using, right? I think your younger people, right? I mean, probably when you started there, the phones had evolved and people had already started using smartphones. But smartphone was an innovation. People used to use phones with keypads, right? I mean, even now we have keypads, right? And there's like your QWERTY keyboards that is there in your laptop. So similar, keyboards used to be there, and all of us used to type using that, right? People never thought, no, you can have the world at your fingertips, right? So Steve Jobs came up with this innovation, right? So he disrupted the market. He had a vision that yes, if I build an app, build a phone which actually you can just touch each of these icons, then take it to respective pages that you want, etc. Right? If you wouldn't have innovated, right? I mean, he didn't go back and ask the feedback to the individuals or to his customer who are using phones. I mean, then we wouldn't even imagine that there could be something like this which we can use, and the ease of use is so much ease to use, right? So nobody would have imagined that, but he did, and now where we are, everybody is using, and there are multiple versions of those phones. People have done much better over a period of time, right? So that's how it is important when you innovate. When you are a startup, you need to identify, right? I mean, you need not always listen to the customer, take the feedback and improvise on the service. that is one way. The another way is you can completely disrupt the market with a new technology or new innovation. That's an approach. That's another approach which multiple entities or businesses take, right? So yeah, I just want to hear. I mean, am I audible? People are listening, right? So otherwise, it's like I'm just narrating, and then there's no response.
Sir,
I
yes,
mean,
sir, you're audible and students are listening, sir.
yeah. Thank you. So just to check on that, yeah. Thanks for that. And is there any questions at this point of time from any one of you?
Just a minute, sir. Let me ask the
Yeah.
students.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
I have a question. How do you handle
Sure.
marketing when budgets are tight, sir?
Sorry.
How do you
Can you
handle
come again?
marketing? How do you handle marketing when the budgets are tight?
Yeah. That's that's a good question. See, that's why we have multiple platforms that are available. So that's example which I gave you, right? So how you can create a differentiator, right? So you have limited budget, right? I mean, you can't start any business without any budget, right? So what is the differentiator? Identifying the target audience, and then trying to pitch it to them. So it is very important, when you identify, you differentiate and pitch it to the right set of audience. So that is very important when there is limited budget, and especially if you are a startup, and I mean your budgets are limited for marketing. So you need to do that. You need to identify that differentiator, and there are multiple online platforms that are there, right, where you can post things, right? So if you have an Instagram account, right, you can post things, right? So you can post, I mean, there's no cost involved there, right? And then you have so many people who follow you, right, or your friends, etc. So you can ask them to like it, you know um, tag you. I mean, there are multiple ways in which it can reach to multiple audience, right? So, for example, you have 100 friends. Tell those 100 friends to like it. So when they like it, their friends would know, right? Similarly, then you push that message. Tell your friends to ask their friends to like it, or then share it again. So there are multiple ways in which you need to think and innovate, right? So there are multiple platforms that are available. Use that platforms, but it's very important first to identify that, and also look at what differentiation you are giving, and then try to project that, right? So that's the approach you need to take when budgets are low.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, I'll get going. You can stop me in case you have anything. um, So types of marketing, right? So I think we briefly touched upon that, but I would like to also reiterate so on few of the key things. So inbound marketing. So I was telling you, right? I mean, all these topics will finally converge to the case study where you can see the live example of how a particular company was able to scale using these different platforms, right? And there you would see how it answers the question, by the individual who, I mean, I don't know, can I know your name, who asked the question?
Arpita, sir.
Yeah, Arpita. So Arpita, I mean, the case study you'll be able to relate, and it is very close to the question that you asked, right? So, I know you will, the answer, I mean, the answer what I provided, the case study would give more clarity to you, right? So, content marketing, right? So, content marketing is, the, the kind of inbound marketing, very effective, right? You build the content and try to push, right? So, people are keen to learn, right? So people are on the media, want to know things, right? They want to know things. Second, they want to get entertained, right? So everybody wants to get entertained. So you need to see the product that you are selling, can it take the educative approach, or can it take a what do you say, entertainment related approach, right? So if I'm trying to like the Blade example, right? So Blade, I mean, that was more kind of an entertainment video. You were able to see that how they try to make it differently, right? But if I'm selling what do you call uh, education related product, right? For example, it could be uh, like Byju's, right? Byju's, they're trying to sell, the services what they provide for the students, right? They cannot make it like an entertainment, right? They will have to build content or create. I mean, when they're new in the market, it's necessary to create content around, how it is going to help the students, right? So the parents need to know, because parents are the target audience for them, right? Because they're selling it to the parents. So if they have to communicate it to the parents, they cannot make it like the video they did, right? I mean, parents might not be keen, because that's a serious topic. It's about education of their students, right? So content marketing also needs to be created in a manner based on the type of areas that you are trying to sell, right? Then there is social media marketing, which I think everybody is aware of. Search engine optimization, right? So engine optimization itself is a topic in itself. You can go on talking probably for an hour or so, but to keep it simple, right? So when you search, right, the results that comes up in the screen, people would probably look at the initial 4 5 and then select one of them. That's a typical a trend that we have seen across, right? So how do you optimize that whenever there is a search for a particular product or service, right? When I check for Blade, which Blade company's name would come pop up on top. So there are different techniques in which you optimize the search engine, right? So there are different ways. So you try to optimize it so that your Blade company comes on top, rather than Gillette, right? Or 7 o'clock, or any other top brands that are there. And then there are outbound marketing, where you can do telemarketing. There you get phone calls, right? So most of people call and ask, do you need this? Do you need a loan? Do you need this? So that's telemarketing. Then there is a direct mails. You get so many mails, right? Based on the pages you visit on the websites, etc. You start getting those mails. Then display of ads, right? So you visit any website, you will see on the site there are multiple ads popping up, right? So they're trying to cross sell, right? So the platform is for something else, right? For example, I go to Crick Buzz or Crick Info, where I want to know the score of a particular match, right? When I go to that app, I see some other thing coming up, right? So I see for example, I go to Prime Video, right? Or I go to Hotstar, right, to see the score or watch the match. Then below I see ads of some new movie which has come up on Geo Hotstar, propping up there, right, saying that yeah, this movie has come and you can watch. So they're trying to cross sell some of the products. So ads, or some ads comes up, etc. Then there's email influencer marketing, right? The many people who are influencers on social media platform, they try to talk about something, and then people promote other things, right? So I'll give an example of cricket itself, because I mean, I watch a lot of cricket and sports. So if people who follow cricket, right, there are many ex-cricketers who have their own social media channel, right? And they come and they give their point of view on any matches that has been played. So along with that, they try to push, for example, they'll push an ad of Dream 11 or any gaming platform. All right, so they will come and ask, they'll say that hey, no, I'm playing on this platform, right? It is much simpler, the chances of winning is higher, so why don't you try? So that is influencer marketing. Then affiliate is you market through your partners, right? So for example, um, you can take example of you know like you will there's a product, for example, let's take an example of the blade itself, right? So we have blades, you have the website where you can buy, right? Other than that, there are partners, right? You can buy it from the medical shops, grow or general stores, etc. So they're partners with them, so they sell it to them, right? So that's B2B marketing, so business to business. So Dollar Blades sells it to ABC, uh, provisional stores, etc. Right? So they are partners for them. So they sell it to them, and then ABC partners sells it to me. Right? So that is the partner. So they'll have multiple partners in different geographies who would sell it for them. Guerrilla marketing is, as I was telling you earlier, right? So it's an unconventional tactics of attracting a customer, right? So you saw that video, right? uh, how many of you would have seen Ambuja Cements ad, right? So Ambuja Cements, if you recollect, right, there's one a beautiful lady who just walks out in bikini, um, f- from, I think, from a swimming pool, or from the or she walks on the beach, right? So she's coming out from the water, uh, right? So that's nowhere related to the cement, right? But what happens, that leaves a impression on the people, impression on people, right? Okay, the beautiful lady coming out of the water, right, wearing a bikini, is Ambuja Cement, right? So that lives, so it's nowhere related to this, I mean, no connection at all, but you relate because now I know that Ambuja Cements is, I mean, that's there in me more than any other cement company, right? India Cements or any other cements, right? So first cement company which comes to my mind is Ambuja Cements because of that ad. So that is guerrilla marketing, where you use different tactics to attract the customers, right? So right, so that's from no uh, the marketing perspective. I think on the sales, right? Sale is the next part, as I told you, right? You create all the leads, then you need to come to a part where you need to go and actually make the person pay the money and buy the product, right? So how do you make the person pay the money and buy the product is your sale, right? So unless that happens, there's nothing. I mean, marketing is just creating awareness, right? Important thing is to make that sale, right? How you can make that sale is very important, and that is actually driving the entire business, right? So uh, others other parts are enablers, right? So your technology, the innovation, and XYZ, multiple things which is required to drive a business, is all what do you call, all a catalyst to actually make a sale. So unless you make sale, the business doesn't go forward, because that sale is what brings in money to the business, right? So that's why salespeople, in any organizations, are treated really well, right? Because they are the people who will go and get revenue, actual revenue. Yeah, others are there who will drive it, but they are the people who go into the market and get money for the business, right? So how do you drive this? I mean, how do we drive the sales in the organization, right? So one is, as I told you, right? It kind of creating a sale is the last part, but the initial part of creating awareness and ensuring that people come and make an attempt to buy it, it's very important. So it's very important to identify what is your approach for selling a particular product, right? So um, there are different, I mean, there is no when it comes to selling or marketing, right? People have tried different approach, and one approach might not fit, one organization's approach might not fit another organization's approach. So you'll have to always keep a close eye and use different techniques that are there, like, or different strategies that are there, right? So that is very important from a sales strategy per se. I'll quickly walk you through on some of the key sales strategy. One is on your target market, right? So very important to identify those target market, and very important to create a persona, right? So persona is, if there is a product, right, and the person who would buy the product, who are those people who would buy that product, right? That is very important. So you identify that persona and visualize what he would require, right? And create or look into the market, where you can actually find those personas and then try to go and pitch it to them, and then sell it, right? So when you're selling a video editing content, right? So this is example which I've given. So your app actually helps you to edit the video content. So who would use this? Are primarily the corporates, right? Corporates would use it. When I say corporates, it could be like people who make television, movies. They're the people who use this very effectively, right? But it can also be sold to individual content creators, right, who create content on social media pages, right? So you can also target them. So you need to identify who are those guys. So primary are the people who from the business house, secondary are the people, individuals who will use this, right? So it is very important to identify who's your primary market, who's your secondary market, and how do you go and target them, right? And build, very important is, what's your value prop, right? What's the USP of your product, right? So if you take an iPhone, what is the USP when iPhone initially came in? It is that touch screen approach that they had, right? So it's very important, because that's a selling proposition. So you want this touch screen feeling. No, that was a value prop for them then. But that things evolve, and it is always, as a sales or as an organization, you also need to evolve. So you need to always build that USP. Now, what is the USP of iPhone? What do you think is a USP of iPhone now? Anybody? What do you feel is a USP of iPhone? Many of you would be using iPhone. Okay. Now the USP of iPhone is, uh, you know a kind of a feeling that, I'm holding a product which is of high cost, so which means that kind of I have arrived, right? So it's like owning a brand in itself. So that's why most of them own iPhone, right? So but if you compare it with the features of other phones in the market, I mean, they are not up there, right? But it's just the feeling that, as a, I own iPhone. It's like, owning a Mercedes or any luxury car, right? So compared to the features, they might be very similar, but that royal feel of, I've arrived, I'm a big person, that it gives that feeling, right? So that's the USP. So it's very important to sell that USP. What's the USP? Identify the USP of your product and sell it, right? So if you look at a DMart, right, so it is cost effective. It is primarily targeting the middle income group, right? Because the costs are very effective. So that is their USP. So the cost is their USP, right? You will not get the feel of going to a Target, right, a retailer like Target, or um, any other, a shopping, or a grocery shop, right? You won't get that feel when you go to DMart, right? So that is the USP, right? USP is very important, and it is also important to know who are your competitors, right? Who is your competition, uh, and identify that niche factor in comparison to your competitor. What is your differentiator, right? So if I'm selling, the blade, right, the example of the blade which I gave, right? What is my differentiator? The dollar blades, how does it differentiate from Gillette, right? So how does iPhone differentiates from Samsung phones or any other phone. So what is that differentiator is what you need to identify and sell that. So the differentiation is what probably is might be your USP, right? So it is very important for you to consider your competition, identify differentiators between your competition and sell that, right? So that is the second part. And very important is on the your metrics and KPIs, right? So it is very important that uh, you have a KPIs are key performance indicators. Metrics are some of the key measures that uh, that you keep in mind to ensure that you're meeting the targets that is set out for, right? So the metrics is a sales metric is like where the sale is happening most, right? So it is very important to identify that as well. Right, for example, a product like a perfume in the shop, right? Where does the sale happen? When it is kept on the right side of the shelf on top, whether people go and buy there, or people are looking at the product there in DMart or any other shopping place where so the metrics is where the sale is happening, which region the sale is happening. That is from a higher perspective. When you come to the lowermost thing on the shelf, when the a particular product is placed in which part of your shelf, the more sale happens. People have gone to that level because now entire thing is data driven, right? So they need data at the lowest, that is very important at a unit level, right? At a unit level, earlier they would look at region, and okay, in which region people are buying this product, versus now where they've come to a level where they look at the shelves, which part of the shelf when placed the highest sale happens, right? So shopkeep the supermarket people actually sell the space, right? So they say that you want bigger players in the market. They say, okay, you want this premium place where people come, they're able to view the product easily, and then they go and purchase, right? So people have come to the level where they're selling the space in the supermarket based on the analysis they've done, right? So it is very important. So there are different metrics which with the help of analytics we are able to slice and dice the data in multiple ways to evaluate the business, and it's very important to know that when you are building a sales strategy, right? So any questions till now? I think I'll take I think probably I've shot some time, but I'll try to quickly cover this case study, which will touch upon all the different things which we went through, right? So I'll quickly walk you through this. So any questions at this point of time? Okay, if no questions, I'm moving forward. So this is a case study of Zerodha. So how many of you have heard of Zerodha? Can I hear some voice or noise? Nobody of, I mean, has anyone heard of Zerodha? You've not heard of Zerodha? So Zerodha is a very famous broking firm, right? So how many of you know invest in stocks, trade? Anybody in the room who who actually invests in the market? So I'll take it as no. So so this case study is of Zerodha, which is a kind of online equity investment platform, a broking platform which was built by Nitin and Nikhil Kamath, right? So Nitin and Nikhil Kamath, from Bangalore. So they built this platform, and now it is India's largest online broking and equity investment platform, which is there, right? So um, how they grew up, what was the business problem they were addressing, what are the kind of strategy they deployed, right? So they started primarily looking at the approach what most of the brokers that is trading in the market, right? How people were investing in the market, and how they brought in innovation. So that's the reason I was telling you how technology, innovation, and the strategy that they used for marketing and selling, this has made them India's largest broking firm, right? So um, it's very important to identify the product that you're bringing in, right? What problem it's going to address, right? So earlier broking was all offline, right? And people used to have different branches set up across your city or location, right? And there were brokers who would actually help you buy stocks, right? Or make a trade, right? So they used to do all this sitting in a location, right, where there is infrastructure required, there's a real estate cost, right? So buy a space and set up a broking firm there, right? So they identified uh, there is some inefficiency. I mean, this is something which we can resolve by bringing in technology, right? So they identified these inefficiencies, right? And because of this setup, right, there was huge cost in buying a particular stock. For example, you buy a stock of rupees 100, right? There will be brokerage cost, right? Then there are other transaction costs, etc., which would ensure that your uh, purchase of each stock would go up by easily no 5% approximately, right? So they identified that this area and we could resolve it using technology, right? So how did they do it, right? So they started they came up with a concept called brokerage model, right? So which is they were the first in the country who came up with this particular model, where they give discount on broking, which means that they reduce the commission, because they're solving the real estate problem, because they need not set up office. It was all on a online platform where people could go log in and buy stocks, right? So there is no brokers that are there who will buy, and there are multiple hand it moves before the person could buy a particular equity or a stock or trade, right? So they reduced all that and they gave it back to the customer, and they just took a very minimal amount for transacting. So that's why they started with that discounted model, right? And they did not, I mean, this was a question which somebody asked sometime earlier. So they didn't I mean, they were startup, they didn't have so much money to market. So what did they do? Right? So since they came up with this technology, that was their differentiator, right? And that was the USP, the application. So they sold the USP of and so I have this application, so the cost is less, lower cost, and they are the first mover advantage. They were the people who came online first, and they are the first mover advantage, right? And with this approach, they so when you have this such a big differentiator, it spreads like word of mouth, right? The word of mouth would go on, right? So same thing happened with your iPhone, right? iPhone was the first one who came with um, the touch screen, right? The smartphones. So they took an advantage and they were the market leaders. But yeah, now currently they're not able to sustain because there's no enough innovation happening. So it is always important that you innovate as you go forward. So they innovated and they did not spend anything on marketing, they did not spend anything on advertising, right? nothing on Google ad, nothing. I mean, it's just word of mouth. Because of this differentiator, right, their volumes grow up and the transaction were on 4,000, 5,000 crores in terms of stock exchange that happened every day within 3 years of their launch, right? So how the differentiator makes a difference, right? That's why you call it's a differentiator, right? So they started having free equity delivery, so there was no cost for equity, right? So this is a differentiate. This is what you need to sell, right? And the intraday and futures and option trade, they just had a flat 20 rupees, right, for any trade that happens, or 0.03% of the transaction cost they charged, right? So it is very, very, very minimal, and it was very new to the industry. And mutual funds, it was free and direct. People um, you know um, it was like free of cost. And they were very smart, because this was a new thing which they bought up, right? Because the technology, the applications which they bought up was all new, so people needed to have some knowledge about the about how they could trade. So they came up, they launched online learning platform called uh, Varsity, which primarily educated people on investing. What is investing, the awareness they created. So this brought in more people and also enhanced the skills of the existing people, right? So another important thing is your when you build your organization, right, as a startup, you should know how to scale, right? Your system should be built to scale, right? So Zerodha integrated with multiple other platforms, right? So they came up with the online mobile app called as Kite. Then they started educating, they built they got in multiple applications around that, right? They had a discussion forum, they had a visualization of the trade that was happening, right? So they bought in multiple things which helped them. They scaled into different aspects of the business, and they were able to with this they were able to drive their business more effectively, right? So, and as I was telling you, the target customer, very important to know who is your target customer. So once you have the people on your platform, it is very important to identify. I was telling you, right, you have a product, you need to analyze where the sale is happening, right? Is the sale happening in this region? If this is the region, where, which location, but in this location, which is a place where a major sale happens, this particular grocery, yeah, in this grocery, when your product is placed in which part of the shelf the trade happens. You need to know the data at that level to build any of your sales or marketing strategy, right? So very important to know your customers. So they identified where the major chunk of the business is coming from, right? Equity investors was just 9%. The intraday traders were around 9%. So sorry, equity investors were around 1%, intraday traders were around 9%. The actual chunk of the business was coming from futures and options, right? The 90% of the traders away from futures and options, which help them to identify exact space where the business is. And you need to focus on those areas, right? So it is very important to understand all this before you build your marketing or sales strategy, right? So it is like a loop, right? You have a product, you build your sales and marketing, how to go to your customer, who are your customer, how to go to them, how to create awareness, make a sale. Then once the sale is happening, you need to gather the data where the sale is happening, and then it needs to flow back, right? It needs to flow back to the your strategy, your sales strategy and your marketing strategy, right? So what is the key takeaway from this? They were initial to the market. They were people who came into the market very early with the digital presence. So that made a difference, right? That is being innovative, right? And they used word of mouth marketing. They did not use they did not go sell it anywhere, right? People, because of the differentiator, people went, it became viral, and people started coming and investing. Technology and innovation, so very important to move, right? It's very important to innovate and then bring in new things, right? To people from online platform, people started moving to mobile technology came in, so it's very important to have a presence there much in advance, so that makes difference. So they use content marketing, right? So they created content around the learning of online trading, marketing, FNO, etc., right? All related to finance. They created marketing content, they educated the people, so that they come back and they invest, right? They had community engagement, right? So this content marketing, they ensured they build a community. The people who are coming and looking in to the content, they're giving feedback, right? So they build a community there. Once you have a community, you can push a lot of things into that community, right? Then the pricing, right? So they kept it very simple, right? So they just took a flat rate or a very minimal transaction fee because of the innovation and technology that they bought in. They could bring in a lot of changes, right? So uh, yeah, I think my battery is also saying it's time. So that's a brief about the sales and marketing strategy. I think if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take. So thank you all.
Students, if you're having any questions, you can ask now.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi Amrita.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
Sir, what are the biggest mistakes we are doing in the marketing and how to overcome those mistakes, sir?
See, the there's nothing, I mean, so with marketing and sales, there's nothing like what is wrong and what is right, right? So what is wrong for you might be right for me as an organization, right? So it's very important to know what suits you, right? More than saying what is right or wrong. I think people what they will be, I think people who are going wrong on the marketing is primarily not actually identifying the target audience whom they have to reach out to, right? And second part is trying to sell the differentiation, right? So these are the two things. If you're not able to identify your target audience and sell what they want, right, it is very very difficult. So it is always in a normal market sense, right? If you are an innovator, right? So now all of you, I mean, AI/ML has become big, right? I mean, AI/ML was there, you know, probably when I was born, right? I was born in 1984, right? So since then, people have been working on AI and ML, but AI/ML became famous and became something very disruptive now, right? Because why? There is a lot of evolution that has happened, right? The cost of storage has reduced. We are able to have so much of data. We are able to do many things related to this. And recently we have again, OpenAI came up with this generative AI tool, and then everybody jumped into the bandwagon of Gen AI. But it has been there, always it's been there. So it is very important to one, either you are innovating and you're not taking the feedback, because when you do something like this, right, like OpenAI, iPhone coming up first, Ford coming up with their first car, etc., they didn't go to the people and ask, right, what they want. They came up with something new, and they were able to create that differentiator, right? So like Zerodha's example, right? So they just came, they knew that this is a new thing, and what I need to do is I need to sell my differentiator to the people, right? And then it will grow for sure, right? But you're doing a if you're in a business which you're doing regularly and you're trying to differentiate with so many competition, it is very important to identify that differentiating factor, right? If there are 100 players, right?
Hello? Hello, am I audible? Hello? 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 Am I audible?
Battery, so I had to charge it again. Hope I'm audible.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
sir, you're audible. Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, that's what. So it is very important for in a crowded market, right? So in business terms, we call it as a red ocean, right? So if you are in a red ocean, right, you need to know how to differentiate yourself, right? Blue ocean, and there's a book called Blue Ocean Strategy that is actually coming up with a completely a new approach, like what we spoke right now, right? Zerodha, all these guys. Yeah. Any other questions?
Uh, Students, any other questions? So you can ask now. From the audience, sir. It's really a wonderful session that you have actually explained how this marketing and sales is changing over a time. And sir, one more question from my end.
Yes, sir.
Can you please tell what are the career opportunities, how students can able to step into the field of this marketing and sales and get build their career? Uh,
Yeah, I think, see, marketing and sales, I think now there is it's a vast area when it comes to sales and marketing, right? So you can um, build your career in different industry, right? Sales and marketing is agnostic of domain, or any specific industry per se. They can be you can get into any field that you want, and within sales and marketing there are multiple areas that you can look into, right? So digital marketing, right? People are now, I mean, they're very big in terms of how they manage the digital space for any organization, right? For so digital presence is very important now, right? With the advent of social media, so you need to manage the social media space. So that is one area which most of them are there, and you can also get into that. And other than that, each organization has sales team, right? And I spoke about different types of marketing, so you can get into those different aspects, right? Inbound, outbound, etc. So there's a entire marketing team, and within the marketing team there are different what do you call different divisions that are there. Similarly with the sales, right? So sales also has multiple facets. So so these are options that are available widely, right? People take up major in sales and marketing. Marketing is one of the MBA streams as well. right? So people take up, especially people primarily who take up MBA, get into this fields. Tech related people, what I've seen recently, are into digital marketing space. So they get into digital marketing because they know technology, and with understanding of business aspects, right? So they can drive it more effectively, like SEO. There is another area where technology is very important, where you want to optimize your engine to ensure that you get better results. So all this involves technology. So I think it's a wide area, sir, where you can get into. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. It's really a wonderful session. Hoping we will be having this more such sessions in upcoming days, sir. Yes,
Sure.
it's over to Ms. Arpita. You can give a vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. As we come to the end of this insightful and engaging workshop on effective sales and marketing strategies, it is my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks. Firstly, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Prathish Kumar UK, for taking the time to share his valuable insights and experiences with us. Your knowledge and expertise have truly enriched our understanding of business excellence, AI driven strategies, and the corporate world. A special thanks to our respected principal, Dr. Srinivasa Maya D, for his continuous support and encouragement in organizing such knowledge driven sessions. I would also like to extend my sincere appreciation to our head of the department, Professor Daya Naik, ma'am, and also for our event coordinator, Professor Nitya, whose efforts and dedication ensured the smooth execution of this workshop. Lastly, a huge thanks to all the faculty members and students who made this event a grand success. Once again, thank you all for being a part of this workshop.
Thank you, sir, once again. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot. I think thank you all, and thanks for this opportunity. I look forward probably to connect in person with all of you sometime. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Bye.